Hi, my name is Laurie, and I struggle with bipolar disorder type 2 and borderline personality disorder. So today I want to talk about how sometimes when my bipolar is acting up, it is so hard to make even the simplest decision. It's like I know that I need to make this decision, and sometimes it's a really easy decision, but my brain gets stuck. I literally can't get it to click and go ahead and make a decision and do what I need to do. I don't know if it's kind of perfectionism, trying to make sure I do the exact right thing without any consequences, or I'm not really sure. I just know that my brain gets stuck and I literally can't push it to make a decision. So the example that I always use when I'm talking about this is milk. So there was a time where I had watched a bunch of documentaries and decided to go on a plant-based diet because supposedly that was great for the brain, great for the skin, great for your, overall health. And so I went on this plant-based diet and I was not getting enough protein. And I was getting tired and lethargic. My brain was foggy. I was losing muscle. My legs were getting weak, and my legs would just give out from under me, and I'd just fall to the ground. And so finally, a doctor figured it out, like what was going on. And they said, you've got to get protein in. You are not getting in protein. And I kept saying, but the documentary said I could get plenty of protein from plants. And they're like, no, you need protein. So I ordered a protein powder. And so now I needed to figure out, well, what am I going to put in this? So I went to the store and I started thinking, okay, milk has the most protein in it. So I need to use milk. But in those documentaries, they had told me that milk caused inflammation and it caused cancer in the body or caused cancer to grow. Oh my gosh, I'm scared to death of milk. What am I going to do? And so the next thing was the soy milk. That has the next highest amount of protein. And I actually like soy milk. And I was like, nope. They told me not to have soy milk. It has these estrogens or something weird in it, and it can affect your estrogen, affect your mood. I have bipolar. I don't need anything to affect my mood. And so I was like, nope, I can't do that. So then I looked at the almond milk and the coconut milk. Well, they have like 1 gram of protein. Like there's no protein in them, and there's really no nutritional value in them. And it's like, well, what am I going to do? Like these aren't helpful. And so I got so bogged down in it, I stood in that aisle for about 30 to 40 minutes. And I kept picking up each jug, and then I started looking at oat milk too. And I started picking up each jug of everything and looking at it and thinking, well, what do I do? What do I do? I don't know what to do. What do I do? And I got so bogged down in all of the negative and in all of the I could not make my brain click. Now, this is not the first time this has happened. I know it has something to do with my bipolar because this is something that happens quite often depending on my moods or my mood shift or whatever. I just use this one as an example. So I stood there in the aisle and I kept picking up the cartons and looking, and I don't know if I thought something was going to change on the back of the carton. I have no idea. But finally, I just became so frustrated that I left my basket and walked out. So I cried all the way home, and when I got home, my brother happened to be there. And I was telling him what happened, and he said, Laurie, he said, didn't you say that the doctor wanted you to have more protein? And I said, yes. He said, which one has the most protein? And I said, milk. And he said, then what I want you to do is I want you to get the milk, and for the next week or two, I want you to drink the milk in your protein shake. He said, get that protein in, get your strength back up. He said, and then you can revisit it. You can rethink it. You can start looking at it and figuring it out. Now, if you have a rational brain and a healthy brain, that sounds like pretty good advice, right? Why couldn't I think of that? Or why couldn't I do that? I'm telling you, my brain was broken. I literally could not make a decision. And I've had that happen before. There comes a time where you have to admit, like, my brain's not working right, and I need to take this person's advice. Now, I'm just like anybody else. I like to control my own things. I like to control my own destiny. I like to make my own decisions. I'm like anybody else, but sometimes I just have to admit, like, I can't handle this. But you also have to be very, very careful to make sure that it's a person that loves you, that you can trust, and that has your best interest at heart. You don't want to get somebody who says, I know that milk could give her cancer. I'm going to push milk on her. Obviously you don't want that person. You want the person who's actually looking out for your well-being and wants you to be healthy and well. So anyway, that's my story about making decisions and how that affects me and how I have to sometimes rely on somebody else to help me make a decision. Thank you for watching. Bye.